Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day. A lot's going on, so to start things off, Facebook has acknowledged what many have been saying, that regulatory issues may be an insurmountable barrier to the launch of its Libra global coin project. In a frank disclosure in the firm's latest quarterly report to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the firm said that the many barriers it will face regarding regulation a new technology with unclear rules in the United States and other nations of the world mean that there could be no assurance that Libra or our associated products and services will be made available in a timely manner or at all, end quote. They said our participation in the Libra Association will subject us to significant regulatory scrutiny and other risks that could adversely affect our business, reputation, or financial results. They already have a terrible reputation. And not only is Libra based on relatively new and unproven technology, the laws and regulations around digital currencies are uncertain and evolving. They said Libra has drawn significant scrutiny from governments and regulators in the multiple jurisdictions, and we expect that scrutiny to continue. As the firm says, the Libra project, which could potentially bring about crypto adoption to the billions of Facebook users, has caused something of an uproar in regulatory circles. Central banks, government ministries, and watchdog chiefs have been lining up to demand more information on the project over fears it could pose a threat to central bank money and financial stability and provide a global avenue for money laundering and fraud. I think it's kind of weird that they actually came out and said this openly. They also said something a couple of days ago, which I didn't have in a video, where they announced that I think anyone who had, paid $10 million to actually be able to have the chance to run a node whenever these things get activated, because Libra is still just a white paper, that apparently that they weren't actually partners with them. They were more so like, not venture. It was something along the lines of like, you're more an investor as opposed to an actual partner at the current state of the development of Libra. Very odd. I don't think that it's not going to launch. I think that they're definitely working behind the scenes to make sure that this does actually end up launching. I don't think that Libra is going to be as large as they thought that it could be. One of the main arguments from regulators around the world is that if Facebook thus far, Facebook's been out for around, 14, 15 years? They said if Facebook thus far had shown some type of an openness to be more transparent, to let people know exactly what was going on, to let them know that their private information was being siphoned away. Just something on the screen. Hey, we're using your information to target you better with ads. We're using so-and-so and so to make sure that we have so-and-so. We are using your photos to help our AI figure out facial recognition. We have photos of you from here, here, and here. Do you mind being tagged in every single thing? Even when you're not, just little, not even little things, just huge things, just to let people know. Had they had a better track record over the years, regulators would have been a bit more comfortable with it. But the fact that they're trying to get into finance, the fact that the moment that they launch this, they would be one of, if not the largest bank in the entire world, doesn't sit well with regulators. And also, there was one other regulator, I can't remember who exactly it was. I believe it was during a U.S. Senate hearing. They said one of the main things that kind of rubbed them the wrong way is that they were asking someone in Facebook, from Facebook, or Facebook, whatever, what they were doing with Libra. And they said, well, we really don't know. It's kind of a 50-50. We're trying to see if it works. We're trying to see if it doesn't. And the person said that they realized that the people from Facebook were doing the same exact thing as if they were just updating Facebook, as if they were adding a new button, as if they were adding a new smile, as if they were adding a new something, that it came down to, well, if it works, then it works. If it doesn't, we'll try something else. And it's more like, if you find yourself in a position where you could potentially influence maximum 2.6 billion people on this planet to switch over to your money, to use something that you have on your platform, to send this money to other people, whatever, and it doesn't work out, you cause the global economic structure to completely cave in on itself. Not that the global economic structure is as secure or as strong as many other people like to believe, but this has been one of the main issues, is that regulation aside, is that if Facebook had been more transparent over the last 10 years even as to what they were actually doing, and also more so, I think a lot of governments have not had an issue with Facebook wanting to create their own cryptocurrency. It's more that Facebook probably thought that they could do this. They're like, well, we're going to register in Switzerland and no one else will know about it. We'll kind of launch it, see where it goes, destroy the world, just another day for Facebook. I think that they're probably going to launch. Like I said, I don't think it will be as large as everyone is thinking. It may not even be as large of a tsunami as people were kind of expecting, i.e. the moment they launch, the US dollar goes up into flames and people in Europe are running around with their hands in the air. I think it's going to happen slow but steadily. I assume they'll try and launch it still around the middle of 2020. By the middle of 2021, 2022, we should see a full rollout across the world, i.e. if it ends up working in a couple of countries, governments are happy with it, especially the governments who are also going to be running nodes themselves and trying to be a part of this, just in case that Facebook does end up becoming larger than they already are, that they still have a stake in it some sort of way. Then we'll definitely see it rolled out across other countries. But at that point, the wider cryptocurrency space as we know it right now, the coins that we normally pay attention to, will be absolutely massive. So it still leads us to that Facebook Libra is good for us either way. It doesn't really matter if it succeeds or if it doesn't succeed. It still just shows the resilience of not only Bitcoin, but the cryptocurrency space as a whole. Next up, a new version of the widely used but controversial stablecoin known as Tether is launching on Blockstream's Liquid network. Announced on Monday, the addition of the token to Liquid's Bitcoin sidechain network, launched last October, will offer Bitcoin traders and companies new features that are not available via Tether's limited original platform. Liquid was designed as an additional layer to the Bitcoin blockchain to offer the ability to transact large volumes of transactions at higher speed. At launch, a number of industry firms, including Tether's sister firm Bitfinex, had already signed up to help manage and transact with the network using its Bitcoin-pegged token known as LBTC. I believe it's called Liquid Bitcoin. There we go. So this is another thing that Tether has been launched on. Speculation aside, or rather what a lot of people think is happening right now is because that Tether has received such a large amount of scrutiny over the last couple of months from New York regulators and other worldwide regulators as far as Tether actually, if they actually have reserves of their cryptocurrency, i.e. do they have enough money to be able to back the amount of Tether that they are putting out. The people from Tether, speculation, is that they're launching on multiple different chains as an insurance policy. Should you try to stop this one, we have it on this one. This is why they are currently, I believe they're on Ethereum. I think they're on EOS. I can't remember exactly. I know they're on Tron. Now they're launching on Bitcoin sidechain known as Liquid. So, I mean, they're kind of just making sure that they cover all their bases. Tether is really huge. And even the news that we had yesterday about the people between China and Russia. I mean, we typically don't really think about. This is why I find cryptocurrency very fascinating, because when you hear about a use case for cryptocurrency, you kind of go, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's the only use case for that. We assume that there were just traders around the world who were using Tether or had Tether at their disposal to be able to trade should volatile situations happen within the cryptocurrency space, and they needed to cash into a stablecoin. They were using Tether, and it turns out there are a couple, probably tens of thousands. I won't say millions. Tens of thousands of people around the world who are actually using Tether as a hedge against their own other currencies, fiat currencies within their countries, to be able to transact value between even just China and Russia. It's kind of insane. Anyway, this also ties directly into the next thing. Where is it? There we go. Bitcoin users can now take advantage of the Lightning Network while sending coins on Blockstream's Liquid sidechain. Following the debut of support for Tether on Liquid, Blockstream CEO Adam Back confirmed on Twitter that the technology can also support Lightning payments. Using a combination of Lightning and Liquid allows users to benefit from the speed and low cost of off-chain transfers. My gosh. Along with the specific advantages of Liquid itself. He said it's not so widely known, but Lightning protocol is designed to work across multiple chains. Said a couple of days ago, he said the demo was Liquid BTC, but could be BTC on one channel hop and LBTC on another and route over Liquid assets. Cool, amazing. No, I'm joking. The point is that Lightning is receiving an enormous amount of support. It's not spoken about as much as it was before, but it's actually moving along quite well. The podcast I was listening to that I spoke about a couple of days ago, I actually forgot that they were even talking about Liquid and the actual, how do I say this? As far as like the growth of new channels and new payment methods for Bitcoin, a lot of people tend to just focus on Lightning, forget that there is Liquid, and also that even other channels are also being created and integrated. I can't remember exactly what this guy was talking about. He said the word, and I actually rewound, air quotes, and there's no rewinding anymore, what the guy was saying in the podcast. And he said that his company is actually working on something that can easily be integrated as like another layer on top of Bitcoin that also works easily with Liquid and Lightning and any other thing that is kind of out there where people can actually perform transactions on Bitcoin. And they said they were doing testing, and they said that currently, don't hold me to this. This is what this guy said, some random guy on a podcast. I think he said by October, we should start hearing more about his company, that they've launched this thing. He said that they're capable of doing 2,000 transactions per second on the side chain that they were able to do. And he said the most beautiful thing is that typically people think, well, there's a side chain, so Bitcoin can then only do 2,005 transactions per whatever, blah, 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 how terrible that is. He said, no, he said other people will be able to simply create their own other chains, anything, whatever, and they'll all kind of merge together in this gigantic tree bark type thing around Bitcoin, which will eventually allow Bitcoin itself and other side chains and liquids and blah, 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 to scale to 20, 30, 40, 50, 70,000 transactions per second. He said it won't all go through the exact same channels. It's kind of like if you're sending something from here to Japan, like it kind of goes through one tube and it goes to another tube if you're trying to send it to so-and-so. So he says all these different things will allow Bitcoin to be able to move a lot quicker. So not really surprised that all of this is going to be interoperable very soon, if you kind of want to say it that way. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Let's move on. Next up, Ripple is in the news. Where is it? There we go. Ripple just took out a full-page ad in the Wall Street Journal asking lawmakers in Congress to recognize the potential that blockchain and cryptocurrency have to boost the U.S. economy and the U.S. dollar. The letter, signed by Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and founder Chris Larsen, says America has the chance to lead a new technological revolution as it did with the internet and risks losing its edge to foreign interest. They said, dear Congress, please do not paint us with a broad brush. Many in the blockchain and digital currency industry are responsible actors. We are responsible to U.S. and international law. We are responsible to serving the greater good. We don't take for granted the vital role of central banks in discussing issuing currencies and settling monetary policy in concert with the complex dynamics of economies around the world. I'm reading too fast. For centuries, governments have been well suited for the job because paramount to the acceptance of any currency is trust. I think there's more. Companies like ours in the U.S. and others abroad employ these innovations in partnership with regulated financial institutions to enable the world to move money across borders like it already did, move information efficiently, reliably, inexpensive. Why can't I read today? It's kind of weird. The point is, without reading all through the rest of it, because it kind of continues going on, the people from Ripple obviously took out a full-page ad in, Wall Street Journal, to kind of let regulators know, hey, we're also good guys. Don't put us all into the exact same box and say that we're all doing the exact same things. I saw a lot of people making fun of the team from Ripple, and they were kind of saying, oh, Ripple is kind of, well, for lack of a better way of saying it, on their knees saying, please make sure you don't declare us a security. Please make sure that we aren't also the bad guys. Please make sure to realize that we've also been working with you the exact same time. And the places that I noticed were making fun of the Ripple team were people who like Tron, EOS, Ethereum, some Cardano people. They were pretty much, a lot of people were people who like altcoins. And I sat there thinking that these people didn't realize that while you make fun of the team from Ripple for discussing or trying to say things like this openly, your coin is also at risk. Don't think that because Ripple is Ripple, that the government coming down on them would stop that your coin would be immune from any other thing happening around it. They did it. I understand why they did it. It's kind of weird why they did it. The other part of this is, if you read through the entire thing, they're kind of like not sucking up to the government, but it's more like a, we know you're king. We're not going to try and come for you. We know that you sit at the top of the hill while we sit in the middle and the peasants are at the bottom. It was kind of a really weird thing like that. Like, we're not trying to take away your power, but we look for a way to increase your power. We're not trying to take away power from the US dollar, but increase the power of the US dollar. It kind of read this way to me, unless I was just not in the right mindset as I was reading it the first time. I understand why they did it. I think, not even in their defense, I think that they needed to do something like this. The US is not looking like it's going to be a very crypto-friendly place in the future. I think that the people from Ripple and the Ripple company are going to do exceedingly well, simply because they were the first people to kind of come forward and say, hey, we're here, we can help you, don't even worry, blah, 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 blah. So I think regulators are good on that point, but what's the phrase? Pot calling the kettle black. I think that is like so many, and it was really weird because I saw it on Twitter, I saw it on forums, and I kind of just sat there deciding not to really like respond back. So many people were like, oh, look at the Ripple team, look at what they're doing. Thank goodness Tron is so much better. And I was like, yeah, okay, keep saying that. The point is, there was a lot of backlash from people against Ripple doing something like this. It seems a bit desperate, I won't lie. It's a bit odd, but they probably know something that we maybe don't. I mentioned before that US regulators in general, even because of what's been happening with Facebook, they've been a little negative about the wider cryptocurrency space. So I assume myself that something must have happened to get them, for them to take out a full page ad. Someone must have told them something, because I'm pretty sure that we are, according to news outlets that I've been reading around, that we are on the brink of mass regulation around the world, but also within the United States. And I think there may be something negative that's going to happen to a wider amount of altcoins. Once again, not in my opinion. I think XRP, Ether, Litecoin, and I want to say maybe one other coin that I won't say out loud, are probably in some way not exempt from the rules, but they're either decentralized enough or they've been working with regulators enough that they'll be kind of passed over during the storm. A lot of other coins are going to be ravaged and completely torn apart. Also, if you've been paying attention to the other coins and companies that the SEC has been going for, I don't know if you've been realizing it over the last couple of months. Also, I don't usually have it in a lot of these videos simply because I don't feel like talking about 3 coins per week. I'm tired of saying the words SEC and CFTC, especially when they're trying to take down different companies. But for those of you who remember, we have a lot fewer coins than we did last year. A lot of ICOs have completely fallen apart, and a lot of other coins are also just being used for weather apps and other things like that. So not every coin is going to be able to brave the storm. But anyway, let's move on. Yesterday, there we go, there was another US Senate crypto hearing. Not going to read through the entire thing. It kind of came down to exactly what was being spoken about before, but this one was like a bit more ramped up, if you will. I kind of read through some of the things just to give you an idea of what was happening. It says, I want the US to stay at the forefront of this technology, which both has incredible potential and incredible risk. Nelson said, Facebook has changed the debate about cryptocurrencies. Barabadan sees similarities in the resistance of tech companies to regulation in the same way that big banks are resistant to regulation. Brown asked what lessons we can apply to tech companies after the 2008 financial crash. And Barabadan says that there is a fear that the US will lose its tech edge if it doesn't let those companies grow unfettered. If there really aren't new products, why would we need rules and regulations? Brown going off the idea that the ideas are the same for financial instruments, just new technology backing them. The last couple of days, we've had a couple of people who've come forward, and they've been asking the U.S. regulators to make an entirely new set of rules for cryptocurrencies, i.e., they're not commodities. They don't fall under any classification of a security. They're also not this. They're also not that. To simply put them in their own new box and make regulations around that, because the hindrance that we've seen from regulators within the United States has caused the industry at large to not really do very well within the United States. If you have not noticed, a lot of people were of the mindset and believe, especially when you have not regulators, but people who have US companies, cryptocurrency companies, and they go on podcasts and they talk about it. They say they think that the cryptocurrency space and even Bitcoin's price would be much further ahead if we had some type of regulation around 2 years ago, even sometime last year, just something like a drop of something. What we've had thus far has been Senate and congressional meetings, discussions, conversations about Facebook, about Bitcoin. Is it good? Is it bad? Will it hurt us? Can we use it? Can we take advantage of it? Will it hurt us? It's the same thing over and over and over again. So there wasn't much of a takeaway from this, except that they were kind of discussing the future ramifications of cryptocurrencies, exactly how big Libra could become. Could they find a way to hinder the growth of Libra? Could they not integrate with Libra, but could they not be a partner either? Could they, sit side by side to make sure that Libra is doing what's right while still allowing Libra to be able to do what it needs to do? Kind of the main topic of conversation. So it wasn't as exciting or interesting. I mean, not that the other ones were really exciting as the other discussions, but it's kind of the same exact thing. I'm going to assume that we're going to have at least 5 more of these. That's not even joking. I think that they like having these things. I think that they like having these discussions about cryptocurrencies. Maybe trying to learn a bit more, maybe trying to take their time. But cryptocurrencies don't wait for anyone. So the most interesting thing, that's the word, that I can think of that they're doing is that when I was younger, I remember being very impatient whenever we were going to get a law, something was going to be written in. When we heard that something was going to happen, I'm not sure if this also happened to other people when they were a lot younger, and you think that it's going to happen the next day, or at least sometime during that week, and you slowly grow up and realize that it's going to take another 3, 4, 5 years for one thing to be implemented. The cryptocurrency space is active in the rest of the world, for those who didn't know that. The longer that the US takes trying to make sure that they have a hold and a grasp on this and that they understand it perfectly before they do anything, give any laws, give any clarification, the rest of the industry will have already moved on. My biggest fear is that the US will finally give rulings, laws, regulatory clarity, specifications by the time Bitcoin is around 25,000, is heavily moving its way back up, and at that point it'll kind of be too late. There's a huge I think it's weird that the most economically powerful country in the world has yet to kind of really stake their claim on the cryptocurrency space, and they're kind of allowing other countries to really just get on their horse and kind of ride into the sunset without anyone really paying attention. I feel like they're so scared of doing anything or giving any type of proper regulation that is really setting them far behind. This has been echoed by many people in Congress, in the Senate. The people from, I think, Circle have said so. The people from Ripple have definitely said so. It's been echoed many times. I don't think they're gonna get it together. I think they're still trying to figure it out. The other major curveball, as it were, could come at the time once we get a full launching of Backed and whatever the NASDAQ is going to do, that then the governments come out, the US government comes out to say, oh, hey, yeah, now we have regulation to kind of strengthen those platforms to make them more established within the cryptocurrency space. Anyway, who knows? But this is what's been going on. Like I said, it wasn't that fascinating. It was kind of more of the same thing from before, but let's move on. Litecoin is in the news. Litecoin is just a week away from its halving, when the block reward will drop to 12.5 LTC per block. The asset is yet to reveal the price direction it would take, especially as the entire market is at a crossroads. Litecoin traded around $90 on Monday, hanging on as the 4th largest coin by market cap. Until now, the halving have historically led to a significant price spike, followed by a slide to lower valuation. So we're about less than a week away. A lot of people, no one knows. A lot of people think that the price of Litecoin's halving has already been priced in, i.e. the price has been going up in anticipation for the reward being cut in half. I don't know. You have different metrics. Like I said, cryptocurrencies are still very new. Bitcoin is only 10 years old. I think Ether is 3 or 4 years old. Litecoin, I believe, is 5 or 6, maybe 7. We don't have proper price metrics. There are a lot of people who think that before a halving, that prices go up. Keeping in mind that this is only like the 2nd or 3rd halving that we've had for across multiple coins. I think Bitcoin has only had 2 or 3. People think that before a halving happens, that people go crazy and then the price shoots up and then goes back down. A lot of other people think that after the halving, It kind of enters people's minds and they go, wait, oh my gosh, I totally forgot the reward got cut in half, and then people start buying up even more. Then either way, what we've seen before many times, or rather thrice across multiple of the coins, is that when prices do go up in anticipation for something, they usually fall back down. For those of you who were here during 2017, I'm pretty sure a lot of you remember, whenever there was a new coin that was launching on top of Ether, whenever there was a new anything that was launching, whenever there was a new this that was happening on top of that, whenever there was a new ICO, whenever there was a new ABC or 1, 2, 3 that was being built on top of something or happening, or there was a lot of hype, the price would go insane. And I used to always say, this is coming out. Don't buy it. Wait a little bit. I remember when EOS came out, I think a couple of hours afterwards, I think it hit $5. And I told people, I was like, nope. I would wait a couple of weeks, and people were like, you're stupid, you're an idiot, EOS is going up $35. Man, you don't even know. And I think EOS fell back to like 47 cents or 56 cents. It was something ridiculous like that. And that's when I was like, if you've been looking to buy EOS, this might be the time for you to be able to do so. I think the same exact thing is going to happen to Litecoin in a really weird way. I think if we gain enough market momentum and prices do move up significantly enough next week, I think Litecoin could be spared from any type of bearish, air quotes, activity that could potentially take place. But I feel like in general, Litecoin is going to have a bit of a spike maybe 3 days before the 3-day countdown. We'll see some like really weird movements in Litecoin. And then after the halving happens, we've seen it multiple times across multiple other coins. People are probably going to sell off their Litecoin in anticipation that other people in the cryptocurrency space are also going to sell off their Litecoin. Kind of is what it is. It's really weird how quickly time flies. The fact that we're a week away is really odd, because remember like in January, we were like, it's 6 months away. What's going to happen to Litecoin? Guys, it's 3 months away. What's going to happen to Litecoin? We're a month away, and now it's a week. It's very weird. We'll see what happens. I mean, we don't have a choice. In a week, we'll see exactly what's going to happen, but let's move on. To kind of finish things off, the longest standing cryptocurrency exchange known as Bitstamp will soon be offer funding denominated in the British pound. The exchange, which is also Europe's largest, is partnering with crypto brokerage BCB Group to allow users to deposit and withdraw funds in the British pound. The feature will be enabled by the end of the year, according to a statement. As an FCA-regulated payments institution, BCB will be able to set up segregated client accounts for Bitstamp. The move follows Coinbase, Kraken, and the UK firm CoinFloor in offering the British pound. A BCB Group representative said, and I do quote, "In my speculative blue view, Bitstamp has concentrated on the euro and the US dollar markets due to their greater depth of liquidity versus the British pound. But now that more crypto liquidity venues are trading in the British pound, and now that there is more institutional appetite for the British pound clients, people say weird things. It makes sense to have a robust channel for deposits and withdrawals in the currency." Does anyone know anyone who talks like this in person? I feel like these are only like always, I feel like people talk differently when they do quotes. No one would ever say a sentence like this out loud. Like imagine sitting with a friend, like watching TV, and they like said something like this. Anyway, rambling on. The point is, Bitstamp is adding the pound, the British pound, to their platform. Kind of cool. It's really funny. I heard this last day or two. There is a large amount of fear that the UK is actually going to go through, or rather have a no deal Brexit when they depart from the European Union. And as such, the pound actually fell sharply yesterday in price. A couple of my friends were making jokes about taking holiday in the UK. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot happening around the world right now. I'm desperate to see what's going to happen by the end of this year. I'm not expecting explicitly expecting a $100,000 Bitcoin, but everything's lining up a bit too well for all of this. Between the trade wars, the devaluation of the euro, the yen, the Brexit happening. What was the thing that's happening between France and the United States? Like everything is lining up very, very well. We have backed launching New York Stock Exchange, TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, People buying up still huge amounts of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies over the counter. Everything's lining up for like a very nice movement in price across the wider cryptocurrency space. The devaluation of other currencies around the world is also like, it's kind of fascinating. And even more so, a lot of people speculate, once again, speculation, that the British pound could continue falling, or that there could be an accelerated printing of the pound as we move closer towards a potential no-deal Brexit, to be able to make the United Kingdom seem more attractive to foreign investors. We spoke about that before. Countries do this where they devalue their own currencies, that people go, now it's very, very cheap to be able to invest over there. So should potentially, allegedly, speculatively, there be a no-deal Brexit, people think that they will try to devalue the pound further to be able to allow people to actually come to their country. I was listening to something about, it was about 2 years ago at this point, 3 years ago, when the news for the Brexit first came out. There was talk about there being a Grexit. That is to say, the country of Greece was also thinking of departing from the EU. And people were talking about how great it would be to be able to go back to Greece with their former currency, as it would also probably have to be further devalued from already what it was going to be be able to make it more attractive to foreign investors to actually go over there. Anyway, rambling on, the world is changing right before our eyes. It looks like that cryptocurrency may be one of the major benefiters from all of this volatile world action that we see around us. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. They are Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Strange Radio Central, Damien, Bankroll Network, Master Ventures in Thailand, 242 to the World, Triple M&J, My Keto Kitchen, Assam M. El Zofri, Adobo, Crypto and Beer Shipmate, Brady Neal, L. Doug, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, Crypto Joe, Mohair Maroney, Carl Birchenoff, singer-songwriter Mike Savitz, Rai Rai, Yasha Harari, Amy Starsheen, Jeffrey Ramsey, Clara T. Snowden, Crypto Artist, Cold E3D, Nicholas Renorth, One Piece, One Love, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich the Third, RF Dusty, Cody, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Tom Sucks at Basketball, and Sam Skips Leg Day, Jeremy the Photographer, Jim Gardner, Minting Coins, Arthur Yaku, there we go, yeah, Nick Manji Alavori, Anthony Charles, and Mick Hannick. Thank you all very much for your support at the moment. The market has no idea what it's doing. It looks a little insane. Bitcoin at the moment is currently up 2.5 something %. Currently sitting at 9,700. I was reading an article earlier and people were talking about that they think that because of the not ostensibly negative view against cryptocurrencies at the last Senate hearing, that the price of Bitcoin could continue going higher because of the lack of negativity, if that makes any sense. They were saying, according to their price metrics, that they think that Bitcoin could be on its way to to regain the $10,200 level, which would be another bullish indicator, because as of yet we have not fallen into hyper bearish territory. Bitcoin falling below 10,000 is okay, but apparently if we fall around the $7,000 number, that's a little bit of a, okay, something may be a miss or wrong at the moment. No other coins are really going completely insane. Tether is slightly down, but you can already see that little movement starting to go back up, which means that people are, they're all going down as well, which means that people are buying back into Tether, i.e. they're selling off their cryptocurrencies in anticipation of the wider cryptocurrency market going back down. No one knows ever exactly where the prices of cryptocurrencies are going to go. It is still quite interesting to see movements like this. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are. Wherever you might be, I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And yeah, I'll definitely talk to you all soon. See you.